Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam, and it is my 3-year booktube anniversary. It's so crazy. It's time. Time is such a silly little illusion. It doesn't feel real. It feels like I have been on booktube for so long, as I have been watching for so many years. But still, like, being a part of it, being so in the community, making so many friends through it, it feels like no time has passed, and yet at the same time it feels like I've been here for so many years. It's crazy, it's wild, and I am so appreciative. I'm so thankful for everybody who has subscribed, especially this year being like a really big milestone. I got my 1,000 subscribers. I have now 1,500. I'm so sorry, I just bonked my cat. I now have 1,500 something subscribers, which is so crazy that people care or people want to hear what I have to say about books or silly little topics on the internet. Yeah, it's so you know, it's very but I just thank you everybody who has ever subscribed or watched a video or liked or commented or done literally anything at all. Thank you to everyone who's become a friend. I'm so grateful and appreciative. This year's been really rough, really hard, financially, emotionally, within my family, within just like my own personal life. Things have been happening a lot behind the scenes that YouTube is such a nice light to have. It's nice having a safe space to turn to where I can spend time with friends and like just read books and be passionate about stuff and just have a creative outlet. It is truly one of the best decisions I have ever made for myself, and I hope that if you've ever wanted to make a YouTube channel that you just do it. It's worth it. It's so much fun. With all that said, we're gonna do the booktube birthday tag. I believe is what it is called. And I believe that Average Joe Reads created this, so I will have the original video down in the description below. Of course, you know the drill, you know how it goes. We support people here. Anywho, we're going to answer some questions, and then I know everybody's sick of it. I'm mashing 2 videos into one simply because I just don't have, there's not enough posting days in the month to do all the November content that I want to do, especially with last week taking mental health break off because of US politics. So with that said, I will be doing the first part of this video, which is the booktube tag, and then, or is the birthday tag, and then after that, I'm also going to give my reactions to the Goodreads Choice Awards. This is the first opening round. I'm going to cast my votes. I'm going to see how I feel about things. So if you're interested in that, you can stay to the end of the video. If you only care about that, you can just skip to that part of the video. Whatever floats your boat. But thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Let's get into some questions. So, as I mentioned, the anniversary I'm celebrating is the big ol' 3, which is really cool. Hello, Hinata. I lowered the camera so you could see her, but she's still hiding, sorry. Question number 2. What genre or genres does your channel generally focus on? Well, these shelves, all fantasy, baby. This is all of my fantasy books, primarily young adult and adult. I like them both. This year, really been into romantasy. Just fuels the soul. It's like reality TV, you know, you just need it sometimes. But I'm also a really big horror reader. My favorite genre of all time is fantasy horror. So I primarily read fantasy and horror. And this year's been a lot of romantasy. But also, I try to read diversely in different genres. I try to dabble in different areas. And sometimes I will dabble in a little sci-fi. But I primarily focus on horror, fantasy, romantasy. There we go. Okay, and then question number 3. What are you most proud of your channel in the last year? So, oh gosh, this year, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it all right now, but end of year content is coming out, so there's going to be a lot of discussions about my channel and what I'm proud of and what I wish had gone better and my hopes and goals for next year and so on and so forth. But the biggest thing to happen this year is that I hit my 1,000 subscribers, I got my 4,000 watch hours, I have hit monetization on this channel, which I know to like the average viewer is like, cool, you're getting paid. Not really. There's like very little money that comes along with starting like a YouTube channel that's this small. It's just a nice milestone to say like, I have achieved the YouTube thing, like the big thing that YouTube has, like the one goal that they set for you. And then like beyond that is like the play buttons, which I don't think I'll ever get to quite that level. Hitting monetization, getting the subscribers, getting the watch hours is genuinely such a fulfilling moment to be like, my channel can do that. I have done that. You guys have done that. That's crazy. And it's just like a very surreal feeling to be like, yeah, this hobby is becoming so much more, and it's going in a direction that I've been wanting it to go towards. Yeah, like, making money is nice. That's a good bonus. I buy a lot of books. To supplement income in that way is beneficial, of course. But at the same time, like, building this community, having so many friends on booktube, and just people who watch and hang out and comment, people that come to lives, reading sprints, like, all of it is just, it fulfills me a lot, having people to have conversations with and interest, and like making friends more beyond just books, but like because of books it started, and it's just it's really cool. It's really cool. I'm really proud of like hitting a milestone that is what almost every YouTuber does strive for, even if it's not like the main purpose. Like, maybe not everybody wants to be successful on YouTube and be monetized and stuff, but like it's always in the back of your mind. Like, YouTube is always pushing to be like, can you get there? So getting to that goal was incredible, and I am baffled every time by it. But also, I just had some crazy, hey, Miss Ma'am? I've had such incredible opportunities this year. I was featured in the Literally Dead book club for July, which is absolutely crazy and so cool. Co-hosting readathons with my friends, like people choosing me to be a part of something that they've created, is such a magical feeling. Being a part of book clubs just in general is just, it's very cool. It's very fun. I'm obsessed. Yeah, anyways, I'm proud of this channel. I love everything that I've done. Okay, and then the fourth question is, do you receive ARCs to review? I have a NetGalley account in which I request ARCs. More often than not, I am rejected for said ARCs, but I do like reading ARCs. I do try. I've had a couple of people, which is crazy. I've had a couple people reach out in my email, like asking if I wanted a copy of their ARC to give their book a try, or like letting me know that their book was coming out soon and that they think that I might like it. And I understand that like it's part of marketing to do that, but also like I was chosen, like I was a booktuber somebody watched and they said, I think she could like my book. I think she could push my book to an audience. And that is a wild feeling. It's actually really cool. I have two that I will be hopefully getting to before the end of this year, which I guess I'll just shout them out now. So the first one is Sin World Chronicles by Ray Bowen, I believe. And the other one is A Journey Thrice Begun by Sean Bobby Kerr. And if I'm saying these wrong, I do apologize. But those are the two that I'm currently like in the process of reading. I don't know when I'll finish them. One of them is a bit chunky. And if we know anything about me, it's that I'm dyslexic and I'm a slow reader. So I will be finishing them at some point, but hopefully before the end of the year for sure. But it's you know, it's crazy to think that somebody would like offer that to me or think of me or anything like that. It is just absolutely crazy. Can you tell that I don't love talking about myself or like accepting kindness? It freaks me out and I get I get a little awkward and weird, but I'm very, very appreciative and very thankful to anybody who's ever reached out to me in any way, shape, or form. Question number 5. What types of videos do you most like to do on your channel? Well, it's a bit of a little mish. Originally it was Sundays were book videos and then Thursdays were reading vlogs, but now it's kind of just become intertwined. But I post every Thursday and every Sunday, and it's mostly gonna be bookish content. Every once in a while it's a little bit more lifestyle heavy, especially like I'm trying to find the balance in vlogs of having enough b-roll, but I also don't do a whole lot of interesting stuff, but having some b-roll while still talking about books, while still like trying to get out of my comfort zone and chill and like leave my house, which is a nice push that YouTube can do. But I love doing reading vlogs, themed weekly challenges, whatever the case be. I think that vlogs are just some of the most fun videos you can do. It's where my personality can shine the most, I think, where I can really just have fun and be myself and just talk about things, which is just, you know, a weird therapeutic thing that I like to do. But I also still like tags. I like sit down videos. I like making TBRs and talking about books just however possible. And so it's just one of those things where like I just like making content, and whatever I can do that's creative, I would like to try. I'm not like the most unique person when it comes to making videos. I do take a lot of ideas from other creators and follow trends and bandwagons, but at the same time, I have fun doing it. So who cares if I'm not always the most unique? I have fun doing it, and that's what we're really here for. But I do have a very large video project that I'm working on for beginning of next year that I'm intimidated by and yet so very excited for. So yeah, the answer is I like to do vlogs the most, but I like talking about books and challenges of any sort. What type of videos do you like to watch on other people's channels? Vlogs. 10,000%. You can post a TBR. I'll probably watch that. Well, we'll be honest. I'll watch a TBR game, but you post a wrap-up, you post a... I do think wrap-ups might be the only content that I don't really care that much to watch, if we're being honest. I love being on the journey with somebody as they read a book. I like seeing their thoughts and how they change and evolve and how like they process the experience of reading the book. I love being on that journey with them. I like experiencing it with them, and that's one of my favorite things about vlogs. So I absolutely love and adore watching people's vlogs. I like seeing what people do with their day-to-day life. I'm so nosy. I want to know what you eat for dinner and where you like to walk and what the nature around your apartment looks like. It's fun for me. I think that it's really unique way of making friends and like getting to know somebody. Like yes, oftentimes they are parasocial relationships, but at the same time, I also watch a lot of my friends, like Daphne. Being Daphne is one of the besties, and she does vlogs in New York, where I've never been. And it's just so fun, not only getting to know her better and better through her channel, but also getting to like see her life, and it's like I'm there hanging out with a friend. It's very fun. It's very cool. Love vlogs. Question number 7. Was there anything you tried on your channel that didn't work? That's a good question. I don't actually know. I'm trying to think of a video that flopped, but Booktober kind of went well for me, I'm not gonna lie, so it's hard to say. I have no idea. I think this year especially, just because gone through it for real, I don't think I've really gone too far of stepping out of my box. I haven't really done any, like, I don't think, at least this year. I think the thing that I've gone out of my comfort zone to do is like the deep dive plot recaps of books, trying to like dip my toes into the rant reviews a little bit, just because, you know, negativity does sell and I do want some success, but at the same time I probably get in my head the most about those topics where it's like, okay, Sam, be funny, and I'm like, intentionally, I don't know if I can do that. So I get a little bit in my head, but that I think is like the most I've gone out of my comfort zone this year, is like doing the plot recaps. If you're curious, the Nightbane one is coming, probably Sunday, if not maybe a little bit sooner, but most likely for sure Sunday. I'm still finishing a little bit of it up, but yeah, we're gonna talk Nightbane really soon. I'm really excited. People have been asking on my Light Lark one. It is coming, I promise. But yeah, I really like trying new things, but I still like to be in a bit of my comfort zone. But I feel like I've played it safe mostly this year. I've kind of brought back like some series. Like there's definitely the biggest issue with YouTube and doing content while still having a full-time job. Like I am a bookkeeper and I am in the accounting world first and foremost. Like that is my 4 days a week day job, as much as I maybe wish that it wasn't always what I did, but that is the focus for financial stability, whereas like YouTube is my creative endeavor. But there's just simply not enough time in the world for me to do every video that I want. I have too many ideas, up the wazoo of ideas, and so I think the hardest part is wanting to have these different series and do all these things, but like not having the time to really flesh it all out. I've limited myself to only posting 2 times a week because I used to post 3 and it was too much. And it's like, yes, I have all these ideas, but they're not getting as well fleshed out. So I think that's the hardest thing, is just not having the time. Did that answer the question? Absolutely not. Moving on. Question number 8. Is there anything you've done on your channel last year that you won't continue doing next year? You know, I do think that I will probably keep things the same. I'm going to keep doing reading vlogs if people watch them or not. That's always going to be on my channel because I like doing them. And so if nobody watches them or 5 friends watch them, like that is good enough for me because it's documenting my life. It's documenting my experience in reading. It's fun for me. Can I improve? Absolutely. But it's fun. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep finding tags to do and challenges to do, and I'm going to keep connecting with the community. That is like my utmost goal every year, is just hang out with the community. I'm gonna keep doing sprints. I know I haven't this month. It's been crazy. And I'm figuring out behind the scenes stuff with StreamYard, and hopefully joining somebody's StreamYard so that I don't have to pay $45 a month, because that's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I want to keep sprinting. I want to keep that doing. I want to start doing that more regularly, but I don't think there's anything that I've done on my channel that I was like, nope, bad juju. Like, I think this year was safe, so I don't think so. Okay, the next question, number 9. Is there anything you plan to do more of next year? Drink water. Apparently. I want to bring back my reading authors backlist reading vlogs, where I just dedicate an entire vlog to an author. I have quite a few in a list right now. I want to continue trying out people's book clubs and getting a little taste test for them, and seeing if I can recommend them to people that maybe don't know about them, or just see if it's something that I want to try to keep up with on a monthly basis. There's simply just too many book clubs to do this. If I only ever read book club books, I would never read anything for myself. So it's fun being able to step in and read a couple and see how it goes and like move on. So I want to definitely continue doing those. If people are willing to watch, I will continue doing deep dives and plot recaps of books that I either love or am interested in, or rant reviews that I don't really care a lot for. But those ones, because you have to like read the book and take notes on the books and like make jokes on the books, and often like print out stuff for it and like get a board, and like there's a little bit more production that goes into those. So if they don't perform decent, then I might not keep doing them, or they might just be a little bit less often and more sporadic. I'm not sure yet. We're still testing the waters on that, but those are things that I definitely want to bring back or keep doing more of. 10, is there anything new you plan to add to your channel next year? Behind the scenes, I think me and a friend are working on a challenge. That's it. That's all I got for you. That I might offer up to the world. I honestly would love to host a readathon. I have one in the works, and I know that I talked about it, I think over summer, quite a bit of like, I have a readathon in plan. This year, not the time. It's a little too hectic, a little too crazy. I don't think that I can manage a whole readathon, because it was supposed to be this month. Simply just could not happen. So hopefully sometime next year I can tighten it up, wrap it up. I have most of it thought out. I just need to like do a couple bits and bobs, and then I can release my readathon to the world and get some friends to co-host it with me. So that, I think, is the big thing that I would like to do next year, is just a big month-long readathon. Alright, the next is, what are some challenges you faced on your channel? Making the YouTube algorithm happy. Does anybody understand it? No. Do we try? Sure. Just like, yeah, growth. I have seen steady growth, and I am so thankful that there's days where it dips and you just don't pay attention. Like, I don't look at my analytics very often. I know I should. I know that I should know what's going on with my channel. It truly scares me, because numbers can really start to negatively affect people, and myself included in that. And so I don't look at my analytics, just out of like keeping my channel fun for me. But at the same time, like, seeing the number rise is a good feeling, to be like, you are being shown to people. People are tuning in. People do want to hear what you have to say. And although it would be fun if my booktube channel was solely just like me and my friends goofing and gagging, I still want to like build a community. Like, my whole purpose of starting YouTube was to build community, make friendships, have safe spaces for me to be in on the internet that is my own and curated to fit my tastes or whatever. But I definitely find the challenge of like getting the growth and not comparing yourself to others to be the hardest. Like, I will tell anyone and everyone who's ever said that they want to start a YouTube channel that they should do it, that it is worth it, that it is fun. You just have to be consistent. You just have to stick with it. Yeah, it's gonna suck at times, and you're gonna have to obviously like take your mental health into consideration. Like, if you're not if you're not well, take a pause, take a step back. But there is just something so fun about YouTube, and it just has made my heart whole, that I want everybody to do it if that's like something they're passionate about, if that's something they're interested in. But it is realistic to say, like, yeah, you're gonna care about the views, you're gonna care about how a video that you poured your heart and soul into and how it's performing. That kind of stuff it sticks with you even if you don't want it to. And so it's just like trying to keep YouTube in a positive mindset at all times, and like trying to make sure that it is continuously fun and something you're passionate about, so that the numbers don't bring you down or like upset you when a video doesn't perform well or whatever. That is the biggest challenge, is like not comparing yourself to those around you, because everyone is going to grow at different pace. Not getting in your own head if like you slack one week because of consistency, or if a video does well. Like it really, it's hard. It's a challenge, but it's also fun, and it's worth it, and it's good. So, you know, you just have to really be self-aware and like keep your head on straight and like really like check in with yourself. The next one, what equipment do you use to film your videos? Well, my phone for one. Boy oh boy. Phone, iPhone 11. Microphone, this is the Zeal sound. I have it plugged in to my phone because my camera that I'm using is the Canon G7X Mark II, which does not have a microphone port, which is really fun and cool. So I'm using a separate thing. I'm hoping, though, please, oh please, with my tax return money, I will be able to buy a new camera, which will include a microphone, and so I won't have to do this weird little Jimmy rig situation, which I think would be freaking nice. So yeah, buying a new camera, but this camera does work well. It records about 24 minutes at a time before it cuts you off and you have to like restart filming. It does the job. Like, I think it does well. It took a really long time to learn how to use it correctly, but I've made it work and it's good. So yeah, that's what I have now. I will be upgrading to a different Canon. I don't know which one exactly yet. I think I have an idea, but yeah, I'm gonna get a new Canon camera eventually when I can afford one. They're kind of expensive, I get it. But primarily, like, I use a lot of my phone and just a microphone. I have a few microphones. I have another one that's like a little fuzzy handheld that I got just on Amazon. And then I have my Elgato webcam for streams and the Maovo microphone for streaming as well. That is incredible. So helpful. I use Premiere Pro for editing. It's expensive. It's a yearly subscription for the cloud of everything, and it's really expensive, so I need to start utilizing it more. The other apps especially, because that's a lot of bang out of my pockets that I'm not getting enough use of. So I love Premiere Pro. I do recommend it. Do I recommend getting the whole cloud if you're not using everything? Maybe not. I do use Lightroom to edit my photos for Bookstagram. I think that's it. Yeah. I think those are all the materials that I like regularly use to do YouTube. And then the next question is, what is your one best piece of advice you can give to another booktuber? Have fun. Do it because you love it. Do it because you want to talk about books. Do it because you are passionate. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about how things are performing. Don't stress about those things. And honestly, like, yeah, do it because you're passionate. If you don't have an interest in building the community, if you just want to talk about books, this lighting, I understand. I'm sorry. The sun has decided to come out. Oh, my best piece of advice. There's usually two paths of YouTube that you can go down. You can go down the path of a solo booktube that you just want to talk about stuff and have a following and whatever. And there's the other path where you are so deep into the community. And honestly, I will always recommend being an active participant in booktube. Watch people's videos, like them, comment, subscribe to them. Commenting is how you make friends. I'm gonna be real honest. That's usually like your gateway into making friends. Join readathons, join sprints. Just be in the community. It is so worth it having friends to share the space in, to talk about issues that you're having. If there's something technically wrong, like going and getting help. If you're trying to host a readathon, having a community that's there, that's done it to help you. There's just something so special about community. And trying times are trying right now, and I cannot recommend being in a community now more than ever. There's just something very special about it. It makes you feel like a person. We are social animals at the end of the day, and we need people in our lives. We need community, and I think that the book community overall, good apples. Like there's a few bad apples maybe here and there, but overall, especially booktube, has just been such a marvelous place to be. Okay, and then I think final question is, what is the best part of having a booktube channel? I have said it so many times in this video. Don't think we need to keep harping on it. It simply is just community. Community, community, community. Having people in the space with similar interests, a solo hobby becoming so much more, becoming a beautiful space to connect with people and reach out and have community. It's lovely. I love making friends. I'm so introverted. I don't like leaving my house. I go to my job, I stay home, I come home, I read books, I watch TV, I play games. I am very isolated in my existence. I don't have a lot of in-person friends. A lot of my friends are through my partner, and so they're not quite like my friends of my own that I could reach out and go do something with. And so having an online space where there's room for me, where people want to... I'm gonna start crying. Oh God. No. There's room for me. There's space where people want me to be a part of it, where people have openly welcomed me and invited me in with arms wide open. I just realized that I'm matching my chair. Stay on track. But yeah, community, having people who care about you, who want you to be here, who want to know your opinions on books, no matter how silly or ridiculous it may be. There's just something very special about it that I really, really, really appreciate. So yeah. Yeah, that's my little video. Obviously we're not done. We have to go talk about the Goodreads Choice Awards. Oh my god. So, if you were just here for the tag, thank you. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I think people are here probably for the Goodreads part. But if you watched the tag, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Let's go. Oh, I have to move my cat. This is gonna be heartbreaking. But let's go talk about the Goodreads Choice Awards. This is crazy. It's time. Sup, pals. We are looking. I have been spoiled for this more than I would like to admit. But we're gonna finally take a look at the Goodreads Choice Award. I know that there is a group of people that don't like the Goodreads Choice Awards, and it's fine. It's okay if you don't like it. You don't have to watch it. It won't be all of my content. I might make another video or two, including it. It's not something that I go quite so deep in, but I love watching it. I love the Goodreads Choice Award season. And I'm gonna be honest, polls show that most people do enjoy it. Majority of people do like this content or do care about the content, and we can all acknowledge Goodreads' faults. Yeah, Amazon owns it. Bezos doesn't know what he's doing. It's clearly not getting the love and attention as newer websites are. I do find that it is important to have competition in spaces like these. Goodreads was the way of tracking your books. But I'm going to be honest, it has one of the best social aspects to it. I can see what all of my friends are reading, and I can talk to them. And yeah, it's not perfect. I do make the joke often that one singular person is running all of Goodreads, and they're doing an incredible job. But I get that, not everyone likes it. Goodreads has its issues, but Storygraph and Fable just aren't quite up to the same level. Storygraph is great for challenges, and I haven't used their buddy read feature, but I'm sure it's great. But it's nice for tracking, and it gives you stats. I track my own stats, though. I want to see what my friends are reading. And Storygraph does not have a great social aspect to it, in my opinion, compared to Goodreads. Fable, I have not really used quite enough. I use it for its book club feature and seeing people's book clubs and creating my own, even though it's not public or live yet. It's in the works. Understand that people are moving to Fable. It looks aesthetic. It looks nice. It tracks stats, which again, I do myself. So it's not bad, but it's just not quite, comparing, everything's not quite the same. I know that we're going to have an Aardvark book club, best book of the year. We're going to have a book of the month book of the year. Barnes & Noble come out with one. Audible says that James is the best audiobook of the year. All of these things still have a space, but there's just something special about the community coming together for the Goodreads Choice Awards. So with that said, let us jump into it. I have, again, been spoiled a couple of times. My Bookstagram was flooded with stuff, which is fine. but like, I wanted to see it myself. So now we're gonna finally look. Also, I'm gonna be honest with you, my chair is broken, and so I'm going to slowly sink throughout this video, and I do apologize. So, we're gonna start in fiction. Reader's favorite fiction. I almost read Martyr. That was a contender when I did my reading best books of the year so far, according to Goodreads video. I do that every year. I've done it for 2 years now. And I like doing that. It gives me a lot of insight coming into something like this, and Martyr was an option. Leanne Moriarty, not surprising, but I thought she was more thriller mystery, but it's fine, it's fine. Greta and Valden I've heard of. Blue Sisters I've heard of because this is the same author who wrote Cleopatra and Frankenstein, but I haven't read it. Welcome to the Hudanam Dong bookshop. I'm so sorry I butchered that. I've heard of that. I've heard good things. Makes sense that Sally Rooney is on here. Wow, I haven't read any of these. What the fuck? Wait. Why haven't I read any of these? Well, I won't be voting here. Surprise, surprise. On to historical fiction, which I think I've only read one. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, so James, this is what Audible deemed the best audiobook of the year, which is interesting. Oh, interesting. Sylvia Marina Garcia's book's on here. I haven't heard great things, so I haven't read it. Ain't That Just the Way? Kristen Hanna makes sense to be here. The Lion Women of Tehran, I've heard of. Kate Quinn, makes sense that she's here. Jodi Picoult, I think is how you say it. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't read historical fiction. It's not my go-to genre, as we talked about earlier in this video. The one that I have read is Anita Devante, Last Laugh. And if you didn't watch my video of reading the best book so far, this isn't a bad book. I'm not going to vote for it, though. Because I didn't want to rate it because it made me feel a little icky. But I did read it, and after reading it, or during reading it, I learned that this is based off a real-life artist who passed away early in her life and has potentially weird circumstances surrounding it, but the family was not asked to partake in this book and did not appreciate the depiction of their family member. So I morally and ethically don't know where I don't know how to feel about this book. I don't think it's a terrible book. I think that the narration was good, but it's just, it's one of those weird little situations that So I'm not gonna vote. Ooh, mystery thriller. I hope that I've done good here, or else this will be real embarrassing. Here we have Freida McFadden, of course, always. Sarah makes sense. Listen for the Lie, I've heard good things about, but I haven't yet read it. The God of the Woods, I guess it's a mystery. It's really more literary. I would have put this in the fiction category if it were up to me. Annoying that Freida McFadden has 2 books, but whatever. First Lie Wins. Really like this one. That might be my vote. I've also obviously read Middle of the Night because Kayla invited me onto the book club live show. How to Solve Your Own Murder, I've heard of, haven't read. Oh god, this isn't going well for me. I've heard of a lot of these. I almost read The Heiress. I will never read a Lucy Foley again. We're done. I am uninterested. I have read Homes Where the Bodies Are, and I think this will get, it's got pretty popular votes. I think people that don't read a lot of thrillers would enjoy this. But I think my vote is easily going to First Lie Wins. Out of these, what am I interested in? Not really a lot, to be honest. Yeah, kind of a shame. Moving on to romance, this one is pretty... Oh, the pairing. Wait, no. We know what my answer is going to be. I need to relax. But we've got Funny Story, which I read for the best so far. The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I understand that people don't love this one as much as for the other 2, and I do understand where that is coming from. I still really like The Pairing. I am a Casey McQuiston stan. I don't think I could rate any of her books lower than 4 at this point. Leather and Lightlark is a sequel. Wild Love will probably win. If I had to go out on a limb, that's probably the one I'd be yeah, that would win. I think it's very funny that Bride is on here by Allie Hazelwood because glaringly fantasy. Even if it's not the most well thought out fantasy plan or plot, it is still fantasy. Just for the Summer makes sense. Honestly, King of Sloth makes sense. How to End a Love Story makes sense. Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood is on my list of things to read, but we gotta go funny story. This book made me laugh. This book made me cry. This book made me feel so many strong emotions. And I truly love them. And I love Emily Henry. I know. Romantasy. Oh god. This is gonna be so embarrassing for me. Is this the third or fourth? Oh, November 17th, 2023. This is the third book, yes. Just made the cusp. Okay. The Veiled Kingdom. Hi. Wow. Losing my voice. Good lord. The Veiled Kingdom is high on my TBR. I did not like Faebound. I loved Phantasma. I really liked When the Moon Hatched. Controversial, I know. The game's God's Play is high on the TBR. Eliza really liked this one. A Promise of Peridot. I don't think it's that good. It was very forgettable. A Fate Inked in Blood, I really enjoyed. Apprentice to the Villain, real bad. It's not good. Haven't read The Spell Shop. Don't read Zodiac Academy. Ooh, A Dark and Drowning Tide is on my TBR. So, apparently should get on that real soon. That's the third in the series, which I haven't started yet. Quicksilver, newly released and pretty popular. My chair, I think, is as fallen as it can be now. Oh, this is so interesting. I would say that all of these are, like, 4 stars, except for Phantasma, which I did give 5. But I wouldn't say that's the best romantasy I've personally read this year, but maybe it's the best that was released this year. Interesting. I wouldn't say most of these are very good, so I don't know. I guess Phantasma gets my vote. Congratulations, Phantasma. It's so fun. It's so good. Fantasy. Okay. Voyage of the Damned. Own? Haven't read. The Familiar? Leigh Bardugo will probably win for name alone, even though I didn't like this. And I don't think I really care too much for her adult books. And I don't think most people really like this. I think big Leigh fans probably loved it, but I think that, like, 3.8 average rating, this is not great. The Sweetening of Salt, The Fox Wife, J. Kristoff, The Dead Cat Tail Assassins, I do want to read. That's on my TBR. When Among Crows, she wrote Divergence, so it makes sense that this was here, but I don't think this is at all going to win. The Night Ends with Fire. 5 Broken Blades. I have the Lost Love Story on hold in my library, and I think I'm still waiting like 20-something weeks. We'll see if I ever get it. The Tainted Cup, I'm actually in the middle of reading right now. A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. Makes sense. Will do well. And then An Academy for Liars just came out. Sitting behind me in my little book subscription boxes. Sequel. The Book of Doors. Is good. I don't know if it's like win-worthy. Map of the Outer Lands was fine. I haven't yet read Somewhere Beyond the Sea. So I've read 2 of these, which is bad. Because I read primarily fantasy, and I've read almost 250 books. So this is embarrassing for me. 5 Broken Blades is on my TBR. I own it from Book of the Month. Same with The Lost Story. I'm not voting for When Among Crows or The Familiar, so I guess I have to go read some books, because woof. So I guess my vote will be either An Academy for Liars or The Tainted Cup, depending on how I rate them when I get to them, because I'm actively reading both of them like this week. So we'll come back to that, I guess. Sci-fi, I don't read much sci-fi at all, so I don't expect to do well or have read these. The Family Experiment makes sense. John Mars and all. I have read The Ministry of Time. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Let's go. You already know. It's gotta be Annie Bot. God, this book is so good. Yeah, I only gave it 4 stars. But I have not had a book that made me have to sit in uncomfortable thoughts and feelings by the end, that made me have to reflect on my toxic thinking patterns. Highly recommend. Moon of the Turning Leaves is a sequel that I haven't gotten to yet, which I should. Beautyland I also want to get to, because it's, like, not the same as Annie Bot, but, like, the same vibes. I put them, like, in the same, like, category of feelings that I would get from it. Gosh, I hope Annie Bot does well. let's move on to horror. Maybe I've done decent here. Okay, let's go. Guys are the best part. I didn't really like it, but I know that it's very popular and people are really enjoying it. Diavola, I did like. So, me and horror by the masses don't always align. My Darling Dreadful Thing I really, really enjoyed. I just got This Cursed House from Aardvark. I haven't read a Rachel Harrison, so I know I need to at some point. The House of Bones and Rain, haven't read. Murder Road, won't read for a really long time. The Bog Wife just came out. I almost got the hold for this, but then I think I skipped on it, so oops. Incidents Around the House is very high on my list of want to reads. We'll see if I get it anytime soon. The waitlist is long. I Was a Teenage Slasher, I haven't read yet. It's only literally a Dead Book Club pick I haven't read yet. It's literally sitting in my TBR cart. Like, I really gotta get to it. The Book of Witching, I've heard good things. Bury Your Gaze, I've heard good things. Sleep Tight, I've heard good things. We Used to Live Here, really enjoyed this. I think the current hype for it might do it well because a lot of people are talking about it, so it's got that, like, top of the brain recent favor to it. Indian Burial Ground, haven't read. Sequel to What Moves the Dead, I don't know if I want to read it, to be honest. Third book in the Indian Lake trilogy, haven't read them yet. I know, really bad. So if I was going to vote at this moment, I would vote for We Used to Live Here. Or My Darling Dreadful Thing. But I don't know if I want to vote yet. Because, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to vote yet because what if I like something better later? Or, like, soon? We'll come back to that. We'll feel that out later. Moving on to debut. Oh, see, here's the thing. A lot of these, you can only be nominated for one category, except for debut where you can duplicate. So we've got Voyage of the Dam, Martyr, We Used to Live Here, Lies Are the Best Part, Ministry of Love, Book of Doors, How to End a Love Story, Nam Dong Bookshop, I'm so sorry. Ooh, Masquerade. And that's about it. Oh, goodness. In terms of writing for a debut author, spoilers to my own personal ranking list, but the two books that I have for best debut, neither of them are on this list, which is Annie Bot or My Darling Dreadful Thing. So, interesting choice. I think this is where I would vote. Probably We Used to Live Here. My second option would be The Book of Doors, and then following that, The Ministry of Love, I think. The reason Book of Doors isn't going to be my pick for this is because the pacing was a bit off. It felt like two different books. I feel like there just could have been a little bit tighter of a story, but it also did make me cry. So, you know, who's to say, really? Let's move on to audio. What? Okay. Wasn't expecting best audiobook to be a category this year. Okay. Coming back to myself. Okay, yeah. I haven't listened to any of these except for Funny Story and For Sly Wins. And I've already voted for both of them. So, I know that James, again, like we said, won Audible Best. I know that Listen for the Lie, I've heard is a really good Audible audio. And I've listened to the Audible 1894, like, promo, like the commercial ads on YouTube. It sounds so good. So I think I have to vote for First Light Wins again. Because realistically, I'm not going to listen to Just for the Summer. It's too late for me to start at Sally Rooney this year. The rest of these I'm not really interested in. 1984, if I'm itching for a reread, maybe I will pick it up. And the only other one that I would listen to is Listen for the Lie, which isn't on my, like, end of year TBR. So, yee. Okay. Favorite young adult fantasy. A sequel, an unofficial, but still a sequel, a sequel, and a sequel. And these two I didn't think were good enough to, they're not that good, so I'm not going to vote for them. My Immortal Dark is on my TBR. I'm going to be reading it soon. I own the Evocations. Haven't had an itching for it. I'm literally going to be reading this so soon. Today, maybe, if I have time. Heartless Hunter, absolutely loved and adored. Haven't read the sequels for these things, so I can't vote for them. The Poison We Drink, I haven't read yet. Same way the Dark Stand Stills, I haven't read it yet, but it's on my shelf somewhere around there. And I've skipped the audiobook hold so many times because I'm like, not yet. I don't have time to read this right now. So I really want to. And Your Blood, My Bones. It is said that you should read The Whispering Dark if you're interested in it first. So I haven't read this yet. So my vote is going to be Heartless Hunter, aka The Crimson Moth, which I loved. I loved so much. It was so fun. What a blast. I have to read a lot of sequels, though. I did actually just order Where the Library Hides. Don't think I'll get to it this year, though. Oh, so this is young adult fiction. Gotcha. I just listened to The Grandest Game. It was simply okay. It was fine. I did not dislike it, but I didn't like it either. Gwen and Art are not in love. I really thought this was really cute and really sweet, and I did like it. Dungeons and Drama was a very fun little romance that I really liked. Because we know I'm in my Dungeons and Dragon era, so it only makes sense that I listened to it. Heartstopper Volume 5. Did this come out in 23? Interesting. I'm not gonna vote for a Heartstopper because that's not my favorite one. Ooh. Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I think is an important young adult book. It says that I haven't read it, but I did. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It won't be getting my vote, unfortunately. I really, really, really want to read Most Ardently, but I haven't read Pride and Prejudice, so I don't want to read like a retelling of it just yet, because I haven't seen the movies. Like, I get like a gist of it, but I don't know enough, so I haven't yet. Oh, so it's between Gwen and Art are not in love. Historical romance between two queer characters. There's fake dating, but then Dungeons and Drama is, again, fake dating, but more contemporary modern, and you've got recency favored. So I think I'm gonna vote for Dungeons and Drama. I know, wild, who would have thunk? But it's just so cute and so sweet. It hits all the beats you want it to. Really love the characters. They were great. Nonfiction, I don't expect to have read any of these. Nope. Memoir, I don't think I read a modern or a new release memoir. God, brain cells being lost as we speak. No. History and biography. No. And no middle grade. Okay. Well, do I think we need a category for best audiobook? Not necessarily, but whatever. I'm tasked to go read The Tainted Cup, An Academy for Liars, hopefully Incidents Around the House, hopefully This Cursed House, maybe Sleep Tight, and I Was a Teenage Slasher, and then we can vote on horror. But that will be my ranking for the Goodreads. My goodness. I will now go because I'm losing my voice. And that is kind of important when you need to film videos. So I will go now. Thank you for hanging out and watching my little voting segment if you were curious about my thoughts. Yeah, I have some reading to do. I'll check in with you guys for the next round, probably. I don't know if I'm going to do a separate video or if I'm going to tack it into something. I don't know yet. But alas, that is a little video for now. And thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for being here with me. I know these are two totally different vibes of me, like, almost crying and being sentimental to hee ha ha fun silly time, but I appreciate you hanging out with me nonetheless. I'm gonna go rest my voice, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hopefully will be Nightbane plot recap deep dive. Alright, goodbye!